Hi, welcome back to another how-to. As some of you who've been watching the channel noticed that I did some water tests the other day on the pond because I'd overfed, and that got me thinking about water test kits. Now, there's a few on the market, some good, some bad, again some that I prefer and some that I don't. I've got actually all the kits that I've got here. I've got 3 water testing kits that do pretty much everything that you need to know, and a couple of other things that aren't included in some of the kits here. But anyway, this is all that I've got here to hand. So yeah, we'll just talk through the ones that I've got here, and relatively easy to use, and the kind of things that you can be checking for, what you should be checking for within your pond system, and we'll just quickly go through them. There is one here that people may not have seen, which is this one. Which is a test strip kit, which you actually get your phone to read the test, and it gives you results on your phone. So I'll show you how it works, and then we'll talk through about it. Right. So first off, we'll talk about these 3 here, not these 2 things. We'll put them to one side. These are just general water test kits, and they test for the main stuff that you'll be looking for within a pond. So your ammonia, your nitrite, your nitrate, your pH. This has got a couple of extra things in it. This one tests for phosphates as well. It's got GH and KH as well, which the API kit doesn't come with. So I've got a GH and a KH test kit just there, which I didn't get it with this. And the only other water thing that I check for is chlorine, and you do that with a DPD number 4 tablet. Obviously the water board put chlorine and chloramine in the water to protect us from nasties, but you don't want to be putting that in your pond. That's why we dechlorinate pond water. And you can check to see whether your water has been dechlorinated correctly by dropping a DPD number 4 just in a little test tube of water. Any pink in the sample is then showing that you've got some chlorine within the water, and you don't want that. It's bad for fish. That's again simple and easy. You just get strips of tablets in here, not like that. Just with the tablets, you fill yourself up your little test tube of water, something like that. Plop one in there, wait a couple of minutes, and any pink means you've got some chlorine in the water. No pink, no chlorine. Nice and easy. What I like to do when I'm testing the water, I always, well not always, but the majority of the time, when I'm testing for anything within the pond, I'll always do just a normal tap water sample, as well as a sample for the parameter that I'm checking. So, for example, like we just talked about the DPD number 4, I'll get some tap water in a tube, then I'll get some of the dechlorinated water in a tube, plop a tablet in each. Obviously the tap water one should go pink pretty much straight away, and your tap water, your pond water one shouldn't. So you can keep an eye on both, just as I say, use it as a control, like a control sample, control check if you like. Now I do the same with the normal pond test kit. If I'm checking for ammonia, nitrite, I don't check for nitrate because obviously that is the end of the nitrogen cycle. I don't bother checking. I did have a problem last year with nitrate coming out of the tap at about sort of 60 or 80 ppm anyway, so I was never going to get that any lower than what my tap water was, so I stopped checking it. But obviously things like ammonia and nitrite and pH, I would get a tap water sample again, 2 test tubes, one with tap water in it, one with some pond water in it. Again, pop the required kit sample stuff in the tube, and then just wait for them to change colour after a few minutes, and then you've got your tap water as your sort of your marker, and then your pond water as your actual reading. So by far, we'll get rid of that for a moment. we'll get rid of the GH and the KH one. So by far the easiest method and the most accessible method for normal people to check their pond parameter is with a liquid test kit. Now these are all liquid. So this is actually my preferred test kit, which is the API one. And in it you get pH, ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. It comes with a nice little instruction book, just telling you how to do the kit. And then on the back of the book, you get your colour chart, which you're matching your test tube to then see where your parameter is within its range. Now, if you're colourblind like me, this can be quite tricky because definitely on the yellow and green, which is ammonia, I do find it hard. If there's a very slight touch of green, I can't see it, but the girls in the house can see it if there is any kind of mark on it. Nitrite I'm not too bad with, again, but it goes up in 0.25 ppms on the chart there. So it's not a huge amount, but a slight tint of anything, and I'm a bit iffy with my colours. But there's a couple of tips when you're doing your test. Putting the test tubes on a piece of water and actually looking down from above on it rather than looking at the side. And if you've got the white paper there, it definitely is a massive help to be able to see the colour in the tubes and the slight change that may occur, because there will be a change, but to see the change and match it up to the chart. Now this is a Colombo test kit. Although this is my preferred test kit, the API one, I do like this because it's more of a complete kit. So when you open it up, again, like we said, it's all liquid. Instead of test tubes with this one, you get these little bottles with a decent lid on it, which I think are a bit better than the tubes. You also get, there's a few things in it you don't get with the other thing. You get a syringe, so you can draw the water out of the pond or in the pot that you've got it in, or the cup, or however you've collected your pond water. You can then put the exact amount in there. You're not sort of dipping it in and dipping it out. So there's an extra test in this kit here. It's a phosphate testing. It's not something I would normally test for, but it is in the kit if you wanted to test for that. But what I don't like with this kit, although I like the way it's laid out, I like the extra little bits you get, and I like these little tub things. On the charts here, so if we take this as ammonia, this actually goes up in 0.5 milligram a litre increments, where this one goes up in a quarter. So that does mean the shades are a lot closer in the colours. But if you've got a good eye, or someone in your house has, it's a little bit more accurate than this one, because it could be that you've got 0.25 and it's not showing, whereas here there was a very slight change in the shade. So that, for me, is one of the reasons I prefer the API. Not to say it doesn't work, it's just obviously I feel it's not quite as accurate. But I do like the way it's all set out in this little box here, with a carry handle on it, and it flips down. It's a smart box. I like it. Not to say I don't like this. You do get 4 test tubes with it. You get all the instructions in the book. All the bottles are labelled. But that sits in there like that. I just prefer that in this box, but I don't use that kit. I prefer that kit. So this is when I got it about a year ago, so it was relatively new, but it's actually it's called the JBL Pro Scan test kit. It actually tests for all the same parameters, but it's done via a mobile phone app. So the way this works, you get some test strips in there which you dunk in your pond water. You then put it on this little card, and then you wait for the allotted time on the app on your phone, and then it takes the readings automatically and gives you the reading via the app on your phone. I'll actually do this test. The majority of people would have seen the liquid stuff. There'll be some people that probably haven't seen this. I have found this to be a little hit and miss over the few times that I've used it. when I've compared it to my API test kit. It's a bit more involved because obviously your phone is reading it, so phone camera dependent. You've got light dependent as well, whether you've got good or bad light, and how long the little strip has been wet for, and whether any of the colours have seeped through. There is a very specific way to do the test. Actually, I'll do the test and we'll put it on and we'll show it working and how it works. I think the idea is very good because, like we said, especially for someone like me who's not very good with the colour matches and the shades that are so close, this takes all of that out of the equation. But there's other variables that will make it possibly not be that accurate. But for a quick test, maybe yeah. But as a permanent kind of water testing product, I'm not completely sold on it. But I'll do a test. I'll show you how it works, and yeah, well we'll see, won't we? Right, I'll get some pond water, and then we'll get it sorted and we'll do it. So I'm back in a second with some water. So this is how the test works. So you get your phone, you download the app, excuse me games, you open the app, you can actually get it saved so you can have your pond profile set up, because if you've got more than one pond or aquarium or fish tank, you can have different ones set up. Or you can just do a quick test and it doesn't save the details, because obviously you can get stuff plotted on a graph to keep track on your pond parameters, and you can say whether stuff's stable or whether you've had an adverse reading or something like that. It just plots it on a graph. Well, I'm just going to do a quick scan. There we go, so pond. So press the start button, immerse the analysis strip into the water for 2 to 3 seconds, shake the remaining water off sideways. See, this is what I'm saying, it's quite, you have to, so basically I'm going to dip it in, and then the tip is to knock it like that to get the water off sideways. You then lay this on the card, and then the app tells you on a countdown timer, you're just waiting, and then the app will access the camera and actually take the reading. Right, so I've got some pond water here. So, go start. Knock it off. Lay it on the card, sort of. See, again, all a little bit fiddly. I'm trying to do it one-handed. So we're waiting for the timer to tick down. Then the camera will open on the phone and it will take a shot of this, and it will give me pond water readings. Go. So there we go. So that's how I've got 0.25 nitrite, GH of 7, KH of 6, pH of 7.2, chlorine of 0. Now, my pH, as I know, is higher than that, so I'm going to sort of disregard that. Again, my KH is actually higher than that. I know that from the liquid test kits, unless that's wrong. But nitrite's probably around about right. I mean, nitrate could be around about right. But for me, it could be that it's a bit dark in here, whether it's reading an accurate result, or the way I've, how good your camera is and stuff like that. So it's good for a quick test, but I probably wouldn't be using that as my main source of testing me pond water parameters. So I said earlier, this is my preferred testing kit. Not really difficult to do, just follow the instructions in the book, or each bottle's actually got what you need to do. A couple of them, ammonia is a 2-bottle test and nitrate is a 2-bottle test. Nitrite is a single test. There's actually 2 for pH in here, and a lot of people I've seen have got this wrong before on some of the forums and stuff. That one, your normal pH, which just says pH test solution, that only reads up to 7.6. So if you're hitting sort of 7.6 colour, 7.2, might be worth checking and using that bottle, which is the high range pH, which is everything above 7.2. So obviously once you hit that colour, it's not going to change to a different colour, it's just going to stay that green, or may even go a slightly off a blue green to that. So then you use that, and then that gives you this range of pH as well. This is what I prefer to use. Again, nice and simple to use. You get test tube things with it as well to put your water in, and some lids. The only thing it doesn't come with is a little syringe to suck some water up. I'll just use that because I get my pond water like this. You can suck it up, and then obviously you need to put 5 ml of water in, and I'll just use the kiddie syringe to fill it up to where it needs to be. Rather than just sort of dipping that in and then pouring a bit out, pouring too much out, getting more in, pouring some out, not enough, then you've got the right amount in there. It just makes it a bit easier. But you don't get that. You don't get that with this kit. You just literally get the testing bottles and the tubes, and obviously the instructions. But in my opinion, the better kit to use. Offhand, I can't remember how much they are actually. I think the Colombo kit and the API kit are around about the same money. I think about 20 quid. And the JBL Pro Scan kit, I think, was about 15 quid. And the only other test that I would recommend people do is a KH test. So obviously you need KH to keep your pH buffered. That you don't get with this, so I bought that individually. And then, probably, as I said before, probably the only other thing to test for is chlorine, and you need your DPD number 4s for that. Again, a few quid off eBay, not a ton of money. You get 100 tablets in there. It's not the kind of thing you do all the time, but again, when you're changing your cartridges, or after a few months and you've had your purification cartridges on, or even just to check your pond water to make sure that there's no chlorine in it from your source. So yeah, if you haven't got a test kit, definitely worth buying one. You do need to know what your water parameters are, especially if your fish are looking off. It should be one of the first things you do, is checking your water parameters. It's easy to do, it takes 5 minutes, and it could be the issue you're looking for, rather than chasing around maybe looking for parasites or anything else. So it's a definite worthwhile investment. They're all easy to use, and there's no panicking involved. You're just checking the water, and then you can make a decision after you've checked the water. And it's something you can rule out, because obviously if you're looking for something you don't know what it is, if you can rule out things, then you're limiting what the actual answer could be, what you're looking for. And since it only takes 5 minutes to do, you haven't really got to do any painful stuff like getting fish out, knocking fish out, and all that kind of junk. Test your water, and then either rule it out, or hopefully a lot of the time you'll find the problem, why the fish are sulking or jumping or anything odd behaviour. And that's the exact reason why I don't bother checking my water all the time, because you know your fish over time, you know if they're not happy, so that's always the first port of call. Doing a water test, getting your water test kit out, doing a check of the water, and then making your decision about where you go from there. Nice and easy. A lot of these, well, most of these things can be fixed with just adding more source water into the pond, you've got any high readings, as the old adage goes, the solution to pollution is dilution. So you've got any high abnormal readings, just add a bit more water to your pond. If you've got trickle in, turn it up a bit, or do a 10 or 20% water change if needed. And definitely the first thing you should do when you get your test kit is take a reading of just your tap water, straight from the tap. Do all of the readings that you can do within the kit that you've got, just to see where your tap water is at, and make a note of it, because it probably won't change a huge amount over time. But again, you can check it at any time, and as I do, I always do a tap water sample when I'm doing a pond sample, just so I've got something to compare it to, because tap water shouldn't have ammonia in it. Well, I've never had it here, and it shouldn't have any nitrite in it, although I have had nitrate in the pond water. As I say, I don't check for that now. That is after last year, the year before, when it was coming out of the tap at 80 ppm. So, and obviously that's the last stage of the cycle, so it's not something I'm looking for. It's relatively harmless to fish in the kind of numbers we're talking at. So yeah, the top tip there is make sure you know what your base tap water readings are, note them down, and then when you're doing a test, just do a tap water sample anyway, just so you can see if there's any change in any of the colours, especially for the nitrite and the ammonia. So that's it about water parameters. Thanks for watching. Any questions, put it below. I know I've been blabbering on, but, and I didn't show the full kits because they're easy to use, so there's no need for me to do an actual test for you to see, because you just add in the drops to the water and then wait for the result, and then getting the colours on the camera is never that great anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching. Look out for more how-to videos coming. There is a playlist for all the how-tos that I've done with regards to koi and ponds. This is slowly growing, so keep an eye down there, or just have a look through if there's anything else that you need possible help with, or you find interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again. Thank you, bye.